Did you know that in the year 762 AD, the Abbasid Caliph Abu Ja'far al-Mansur decided to build a new capital? He wanted a city so magnificent that it would be the envy of the entire world, a city that would become the heart of knowledge, commerce, politics, and civilization. A city that would change the course of history forever. And so he set out to build the greatest city the world had ever seen. But first, he needed to find the perfect location. So he assembled a team of experts to search for the ideal site. They traveled across the empire, looking for a place that was well protected, easily defensible, and situated along important trade routes. Eventually, they arrived at a small village called Al-Madan. It was located in the heart of Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. And right there in the middle of the village was a large circular area surrounded by a canal. It was perfect. Al-Mansur knew that this was the place where his new city would be built. He called it Baghdad, which means the round city because of its circular shape. The construction began immediately, and the city was built according to the plans of the Caliph. At the center of the city, he built the Palace of the Caliph, also known as the Golden Gate Palace, as well as the Great Mosque. The palace was a luxurious residence fit for a king, while the mosque was an architectural masterpiece that could accommodate up to 100,000 worshippers. But the city wasn't just a pleasure to look at, it was also very functional. It was divided into 4 sections, each with its own purpose. The northern section was devoted to agriculture and trade. The eastern section was reserved for artisans and merchants. The southern section was home to government offices, and the western section was where the scholars and intellectuals lived. And let me tell you, this wasn't just a city, it was a phenomenon. In just a few years, Baghdad became one of the most important cities in the Islamic world. It was the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate, which at its peak stretched from Spain to India. It was the seat of the Caliph, who was considered the successor of the Prophet Muhammad. It was the center of trade between Europe, Asia, and Africa. It was a melting pot of cultures and ideas. It was home to legendary scholars like Al-Khwarizmi, the father of algebra, and Al-Razi, who wrote the first encyclopedia of medicine. It was a hub for translating works of the Greeks, Persians, and Indians. And it was the home of the iconic House of Wisdom, one of the greatest centers of learning in human history. In conclusion, Baghdad was much more than just a city. It was a symbol of science, philosophy, and art. It was a beacon that inspired civilizations for generations to come. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.